What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the A Show. This is a very quick, dirty
emergency pod, bro.
Emergency podcast. We are, in fact, we're kind of late, not kind of late, but we're exactly an hour away from a pretty huge. And I had even said to everyone in the chat, if you remember in Meals, I said watch SmackDown on Tuesday. And I'll just reveal this right now. I knew it was going to happen. I knew Monday morning that it was going to happen. But before we even go there,
listen, J5 with the scoops, man.
But I didn't want to say anything.
Ice cream scoop emoji.
So Daniel Bryan it was announced at around 12 o'clock my time, around 3 o'clock your time, that Daniel Bryan it was announced from WWE officially that he's been medically cleared to return to the ring after 2 years. If everyone remembers, in 2016 he was forced to retire, basically because of a small chronic lesion on his brain. And as we all know, Bryan has been fighting for 2 years to come back to the ring. And there's been so many things that people have thought that was going to happen. He was going to leave because his contract is up in September, that he was going to leave and that he was going to, not perform for the WWE again. And I'm really glad, and we're really glad to report to everyone that this is not the truth, that it's not happening. The WWE story that they released is actually very, very good. I don't know if you read it, Meals.
No, I haven't. But this is quite possibly the most excited I've been for a white man, and quite possibly the history of white people.
Yes, and I was mentioning this, to one of my friends earlier. Like, I will never forget that day in 2016 where he retired. That speech, that was the saddest sports thing to me since Owen. Honestly, like, it was like a part of wrestling had died that day. Honestly, I'll just go ahead and say it.
It was so, like, bro, it was hopeful in a sense. Like, it was always meant to be hopeful because I don't think he wanted to let his fans down, especially his young fans, and make them think that, like, listen, this is how life goes. You work hard for a very, very long time. You become good at what you do, and then just things happen, and he just kind of deals with it. It was hopeful to say that he was grateful. No matter what everything that he's done, he's grateful. And even in the short moments after, I watched Total Bellas, I watched Total Divas, I've watched, just how he dealt with it and the sort of depression that he spiraled into. Watching all of his fans compete at WrestleMania, watch all his fans compete, in the ring and not be able to be part of it. And he manages to take this job as SmackDown General Manager, which puts him close to the action, but it's still not quite whatever he really, really wanted. He wanted to get back in the ring. He's been fighting for the last 2 years to get back into the ring. And today's news spot I've been just naturally jubilant I've been in a very long time, because it is one of the best feelings to see that Daniel Bryan, one of the people who belongs in this ring, one of these people whose mind, whose manages to take their art very, very seriously, whose brain is built for this, whose mind and body is built to get back in the ring and do what he's able to do. That should make me feel good.
Yeah, and it's a feel good story all around. And we've seen his story on things like Total Bellas and Total Divas, and we were there firsthand. And I think this is the first instance of a sports performer having to come out of the spotlight, that we've been there from day one to now this day, 2 years later, when he's been cleared. And the WWE story states that he received clearance from Dr. Robert Cantu, Dr. Jeffrey Kucher, Dr. Javier Cardenas, and most importantly, Dr. Joseph Maroon finally cleared Daniel Bryan, and I think that's a huge victory for him.
Listen, he had to hold Maroon over a cliff. I don't blame him. Dr. Maroon was pretty much, it felt like he was the only one sort of standing in the way, and which makes sense. He's a doctor for WWE. I think everything that he was doing is not necessarily he wanted to protect Bryan, but he also has the responsibility to protect the company and protect it. We've seen tragedies that happen in the past. We've seen people who've gone down with paralysis before, people who've gone down with neck injuries. Just a few months ago, we saw Paige. She's been sidelined ever since and hasn't been necessarily cleared to get back in the ring because she had a stinger in the ring, and it's in the interest of looking out for the company and the talent as well. But I'm so glad that we finally got this, because it feels like he's been fighting for this a long time, a very, very long time, and it's a battle that he actually won.
Yes, and again, we are, like I said, we're an hour away from SmackDown, which is going to be a huge episode. I was kind of like tipped off a little bit, sort of, kind of, but not really told what was really going to happen. But it hit me once I saw the broad strokes of what was going on with the storyline. And I think we all kind of, last week, we were like, with Shane being beat down so badly, it would have to be him coming back for a tag match. I would have to imagine that that's where they're going to go tonight. But I think what you do on SmackDown is you say fuck it and you go full on if you're allowed to do it, and have him come out and announce everything. And of course we're still going to do the A show this week, guys. Don't worry, this is just emergency.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about all of this and more on the A show. We just wanted to kind of get our raw thoughts on what happened. With Daniel Bryan, his situation today.
It's amazing. It's beautiful. I can't wait to see what he get back in the ring. So many possibilities. You've seen AJ Styles tweeting at him. AJ Styles congratulating Daniel Bryan for getting over this. Shinsuke Nakamura pretty much saying, like, listen, this is no longer has to be a dream. This is no longer a fantasy match. This is a match that 100% can happen. I haven't seen it. You know me. I'm on Miz watch. I haven't seen Miz, tweet anything.
He tweeted. Miz tweeted.
He tweeted?
Yes,
Shit.
he tweeted. He said, "Oh look, Daniel Bryan is clear, yay!" And then he gave the little clap,
man.
gift.
You know what? My Google alerts from Miz's tweets just been, it must be down. So I just gotta, I gotta fix that up. But yeah, it's even the Miz, giving him his props. Listen. It
shows you just how good of a person and how beloved he is backstage. Like, everyone from NXT, everyone from the main roster, giving their support and showing their love. And I think that even the fans, this has made Mania, it was already, to me, must watch. This is a card, this is the most intriguing WrestleMania card I've probably ever. I'll say that right now.
100%.
You have AJ Styles, you have Ronda Rousey, you have Shinsuke Nakamura, you have The Undertaker, you have John Cena, you have Roman Reigns, you have Finn Balor, you have Kurt Angle. There's no, and I'm saying this, and this is still about Bryan, but this is the best roster of talent that they've ever had. And I just think about the matches, Meals, like Bryan KO, Bryan Sami Zayn, Bryan AJ. When these guys are called up, Bryan Ricochet, Bryan Roderick Strong again, Bryan Aleister Black. We have a lot of ways and places for this guy to go, and I'm not saying he'll be able to do all of that. And that's what I actually
he's not running through this all in the next 3 months.
Yeah, but I did want to ask you, like, where do you think he's going to be part-time in some way, shape, or form? Because Dave Meltzer had a Wrestling Observer Live episode shortly after it was announced, and he said that he's heard that Daniel might be doing something like 60 dates a year, which, for all intents and purposes, is fine. I'm fine with. But
I'm fine with that.
And I think putting him on the Big Four shows would be cool. But like, where do you see? What kind of role do you see him being in? Obviously, he won't be the GM, or will he be the GM? But what do you see him happening to him coming out of this?
I see him doing the Big Four. I see him doing great house shows. I see him from Raw and SmackDown from time to time. I see Daniel Bryan wrestling now on a different style, wrestling now on a different schedule, kind of wrestling when it matters. I think his entire career beforehand, and to me, this kind of mirrors, and this is kind of ironic because he trained him. This kind of mirrors the career of Shawn Michaels. This could essentially be another career renaissance for Daniel Bryan. Who knows? I mean, after Shawn Michaels, had his back injury in '98 and didn't return till 2002, it's a tale of essentially two types of careers now. And I think this is a different type of career for Daniel Bryan. This could essentially be a new start, and it could have the ending that I think it finally deserves. I just don't know at this point. But WrestleMania, bro.
Yeah.
WrestleMania, New Orleans, where it happened, where it all began, where the triple threat match between Daniel Bryan, Batista, Randy Orton, where WrestleMania was started, even though I hate that term, where everything happened
again, and now it all happens.
Circle.
It all begins again, so to speak. It's incredible, like how full circle this is, and even kind of having a hint that it was going to happen, and it finally did happen out of nowhere. It was literally, this is the biggest wrestling news story of the year.
Of the year, easily, before anything else. Before
anything, this is the biggest news story of the year. This has been like think about, and I know that he's been clear, but like if AJ went down to injury, like, and we'll talk about this on the A show, but like that could beat Bryan Nakamura at Mania. You get what I'm saying? Like, and just the possibilities are literally endless. We're an hour away from SmackDown. What do you think is going to happen?
I hope they wait for the end because I got to get home to watch SmackDown, which is not something that I've done since like 1999. Is to have to rush home to watch SmackDown. But I think we save it for the end. I think we have the strong KO and Sami Zayn presence through the entire show that they pretty much run SmackDown. They believe they run SmackDown. And then we have Daniel Bryan return at the end of the show. He comes, he's got tearaway pants, whatever. He's back in GOAT form. He's knocking out people with Busaki knees. Like, he's killing everybody. Daniel Bryan over everybody. That's what I got to say. That's all I got to say.
Yes, and of course, you can obviously always listen to us on the A Show that comes out on Thursday. We will be coming out on Thursday with a new episode. And until then, just watch SmackDown like all of us, and we'll be here with you guys running down all of the stuff that happened on SmackDown tonight and everything that happened on Raw and everything that happened in wrestling within the week. As always, you can follow us at RNC Radio Live on Twitter. Our Twitter account is up. Hooray. Let's get it. And we'll also be giving you more playlists. We just came out with a G-Unit playlist today. So listen to the G-Unit playlist while you get ready to watch Daniel Bryan's triumphant return. This is a fucking moment, people. Get fucking ready. He's back.